All right. Hello and welcome to this segment here where we're going to do OCD and anxiety frequently asked questions. And today we're going to talk about the question, how long does OCD recovery take? So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Cotty and I am the founder of Restored Minds and the creator of the AAA Response. And if you're looking for help with OCD and anxiety, please be sure to check out our site at Restored Minds. We also have some links down where you can get started with the book and a 2-day workshop that we put together, really help you, get a very clear picture on the roadmap to recovery. So let's talk about this question. This is a great question. One that was submitted. And again, if you have questions that you'd like to submit that we'll consider for this segment, there's a little link down in the notes as well, where you can just submit a question. Again, it's free, and again, because we want to make sure that we're trying to answer questions that are going to be helpful. So that's why when you submit them, it just helps us understand what you would like us to talk about, or what you would want me to talk about on this show. So how long does recovery take? And, very, very common question I get. So the first thing I would say is we need to define recovery, right? Because if you define recovery incorrectly, you might be chasing something that doesn't really exist for a long time. Like, so for instance, if you define my recovery is when I never have thoughts and feelings that I don't like, I'm not saying you can't get there, right? I don't think anything's impossible, but that's a tough aim, right? Now, paradoxically, you could actually, if you really wanted to get to that point, then what I would tell you is just eliminate all the judgment of any thoughts and feelings you have, and then you never have a thought you don't like, or don't, and a feeling you don't like, because you don't judge it as something you don't like. So that would probably be the quickest way to get there. But I know Mark Freeman, who's another gentleman who puts up just amazing content on YouTube and in some other places as well. Wrote a really good book as well. You Are Not a Rock. I mean, he talked about, he put out a video, and he was just like, you could just choose never to have an intrusive thought again. Right. In the sense of, like, you could just decide to not label it as intrusive. So that's, and there's a lot here. Right. And so I don't want to make a long-winded answer to this question, but there's some deep truth to that, where it's like, when you want to talk about recovery, if you really want to get to a place where you never have thoughts and feelings that you don't like, then don't judge them as something you don't like. And which again requires eliminating a lot of the beliefs that you may be carrying underneath of what is good, what is bad, and that there is idea of, like, I'm only supposed to have, quote, good thoughts, or good feelings, so to speak. So when someone asks me what recovery is, because obviously I believe in recovery, and I will promote that till my entire time on this earth. I'm going to promote the idea of believing in recovery from anything, for that matter. Like, I never would set the ideas that things are impossible, because again, like, I just think belief is the most powerful tool that we have as human beings. It's really the foundation of everything. So when you believe in recovery, how I define recovery is getting out of the wheel, right? Because how you understand something is going to determine what you do. What you do is going to determine your results. If I see OCD as a thought and feeling problem, then obviously what I'm going to try to do is get rid of thoughts and feelings, which paradoxically is going to make me do safety behaviors, which is going to keep the wheel going, right? And when the wheel goes, that's when life gets out of control, oftentimes. So when it comes to, how long does recovery take? The answer is more in line with, like, well, how long does it take to really break the wheel, right? And the reality is you can start breaking the wheel today. One of the big misconceptions is like, people look at how long they've struggled with something like OCD and anxiety, or been stuck in it, and they think that there has to be like an equal amount of time that it's going to take for them to get out. Not true at all. I have so many case studies I could throw at that to dismantle that belief, that lie, I should say. That said, look, if you've practiced something for 20 years, to adopt a whole new behavioral practice may take a little time, right? Because you're going to have to, and the neuroplasticity and the rewiring, yeah, may take a little time. And at the end of the day is, if you really understand that recovery is a practice of never engaging in behaviors so that wheel can't form, then you can practice recovery like right now, today. You can say, I'm not engaging in any behaviors, no safety behaviors, no mental or physical ones. And if that really becomes your practice, what will happen is results of that will follow. Now, the secondary results of breaking the loop are that your mind generally tends to calm down and your body tends to move to a more homeostatic state. That does happen, but it's a secondary result of eliminating the behaviors. That's why that's like the central focus point of the entire message of the book, of everything I do, all that is no behaviors, right? And when we understand that really is like our main objective, like we can start implementing that today. Does that mean we're going to see the results of that? No, because the results we're seeing are of what our practice was yesterday and the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before. So if we've had an unhealthy practice, or we've just been engaging in safety behaviors left and right for a long time, that's going to produce unhealthy results today. Okay. When we change our practice today, that will start producing better results tomorrow. And if we keep that practice going, it will continue to produce better results. And that's more how you have to look at recovery. Because when you see it as like a cause and effect thing instead of a practice, like I'm going to do no behaviors right now, and then all of a sudden, like I expect that I'm going to have no thoughts, no feelings. It's like, that's not, you're setting yourself up on a bad trajectory and a bad path and poor beliefs there. It really has to be something that you see like, this is a practice that I'm just adopting, right? Like it really is a way of life. It's the same way as if you have like a health issue, right? Or like if you like were overweight or something like that and you wanted to lose weight, the reason that you're overweight, right, is like, okay, because you've had poor practices, whether it's working out or not eating well or both, to this point, right? And that's what's happened as of right now. You don't have to pay attention to any of that moving forward. You can say, hey, I'm adopting a different practice, right? And the best way to do that, obviously, is to restructure the beliefs that led to the practice and so on and so forth. We don't need to get into that in this episode. But that's the idea, is that a practice has led you to right now. And when we start practicing something new, we can expect different results to follow. What we can't do is say, okay, I'm going to try this approach and then get to where I wanted to go, right? Initially, right? I'm going to try this new technique, or I'm going to read this book, and it's going to get me no thoughts, no feelings. Like I said, we have to understand what recovery is first, and then we have to start implementing the correct techniques. And then ideally we have to do it from the highest level of consciousness possible. If you do that, really what I would say, when it comes to the question of how long does recovery take, I mean, I've seen dramatic results in very short periods of time. And I've seen people that have taken, like myself, I took a much longer route because I just was doing a bunch of the wrong stuff for a long time. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, right? Because what we're really moving towards is health. Right? Like, how long is it going to take for me to be healthy? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep putting these practices and let the rest take care of itself. So like, like today is a good example. Like I was like, okay, like I was like, I was kind of looking at my day. I had stuff planned this afternoon. So I was like, I need to go for a run this morning. And it wasn't usually what I do, but I was like, I need to get that in because I decided to practice being healthy. Right. And I trust that if I continue to practice being healthy, like I will see results over time. I'm gonna commit to my daily practice. So when you look at recovery as like don't see it as this mythological place you're gonna reach one day. See it as something I can choose to practice right now. That is a much better way to look at that question, right? And so it's not this mystical place in the future where you reach nirvana, whatever even that means. I don't, who knows what that means. it's this idea of a practice that I'm adopting right now. And if I practice that consistently, results will follow, and you just trust that. So how long does recovery take? Well, you can start it right now. That's what I would say. You can start being quote unquote recovered right now, because you can commit to saying, I'm doing no behaviors. And again, if you want help with that, and tools and techniques for doing that, then I would really recommend you checking out the book From Stuck to Unstuck. We have a link. You can check out our workshop. You can also check out Taking Back Control, because that's what it's about. Recovery is a choice, a present moment choice, not a futuristic destination. Seeing it like that will really help you on this journey. So hope that was helpful. And yeah, if you have any questions that you'd like to submit for future consideration of an episode, just look down in the notes. There's a little link there. Click on it, submit your question, and we'll be happy to consider it. And with all that said, hope you guys have a great week, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Hey there, hope you enjoyed that recent video. We really would appreciate your support real quick if you could like and subscribe to our channel. And if you're looking for help with OCD and anxiety, please check out the links below or visit restoredminds.com, as we'd be happy to help you on your journey. Thanks so much.